Good morning. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Patrick Pitney, and it is my privilege to serve as chair of the Shrewsbury Police Station Building Committee. As we gather on this unusually dry and sunny morning, I would first like to give a resounding and well-deserved thank you to the Shrewsbury voters. We would not be here this morning without their enthusiastic support for this long-awaited and much-anticipated project. Their recognition of the need for a new police station and their willingness to generously support it, particularly during these difficult times, is truly a testament to the community in which we live. Arriving at this day has taken many hours of hard work by so many people. This project is the definition of team effort and has involved the talents and contributions of the Board of Selectmen, the Town Manager's Office, the Department of Public Works, the Police Department, the Planning and Economic Development Department, the Conservation Commission, the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Building Committee, and many others. All of these departments have played a vital role in getting us to this point and have worked closely with our project team, which includes the owner's project manager, Neil Joyce from Construction Monitoring Services, Tecton Architects and its team leader, Matt Salad, and Ryan DePasquale from our construction manager, Fontaine Brothers. Work on the police station first began in May of 2019 when town meeting approved the sum of $250,000 to conduct a feasibility study. In September of that year, CMS and Tecton were hired and performed the study, providing expertise on all matters including site reviews, conceptual designs, and budget analysis. In July of 2020, the Building Committee was established. The early meetings of the committee, like so many other things over the last year and a half, were a challenge as we faced restrictions imposed by COVID-19. As chair, I was tasked with conducting Zoom meetings. Anyone who knows me realizes the substantial, and I mean substantial, learning curve with which I was faced. I had to transition from my iPhone 4, that's right, a 4, to an iPad for virtual meetings. Despite my own limitations and those imposed by COVID, the Building Committee worked very closely with our partners at CMS, Tecton, and Fontaine Brothers to bring you the rendering that you see here. This building, conceptualized, designed, and soon to be constructed, will meet the needs of 21st century policing for at least the next 50 years. The station will be modern, functional, comfortable, and will include a brand new radio and town communication system. In addition, the station will fill the need for community meeting space and should be viewed as a gathering space for the entire town. We have worked hard also to meet the environmental goals we established early on, as we are seeking a LEED certification of silver as designated by the U.S. Green Building Council. At initial meetings, the Building Committee also insisted that the exterior of the station fit the character of the municipal campus. As a result, it will include rain gardens for stormwater mitigation and a grove area with walking paths and picnic tables. Again, a space for all to enjoy. It would be impossible for me to thank everyone who has contributed to this project, but I would like to try. First, I'd like to extend my gratitude to the Board of Selectmen, Chair John Samia, John LeBeau, Beth Cassavant, Mo DiPaolo, Teresa Flynn, and former Board of Selectmen member and current town moderator Jim Kane. In addition, I would like to thank our town manager, Kevin Mizikar, for his tireless efforts, and Police Chief Kevin Anderson for his invaluable knowledge and insight. It has been my distinct pleasure to work with the fellow members of the Building Committee who have worked so diligently to get us to this wonderful day. I am grateful for their assistance and patience with me and my innate challenges. These folks include Committee Vice Chair Mo DiPaolo, Police Chief Kevin Anderson, Kristen Lass, Assistant Town Manager and Economic Development Coordinator, Keith Baldinger, Public Buildings Division Manager, and at-large members Joe Morrow, Justine Snyder, Donna O'Connor, John Ombra, and our indispensable management analyst, Alexandria Martinez. Thank you all. Finally, I would like to thank our distinguished guests whose ties and commitment to our community go without mention. Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito and State Representative Hannah King work tirelessly on behalf of our town. We are the fortunate beneficiaries of their daily efforts to enhance the quality of life that we enjoy here in Shrewsbury. It is now a great honor for me to introduce Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito. The Lieutenant Governor was sworn in for a second term as the 72nd Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts on January 3rd, 2019, after a first term focused on moving Massachusetts forward through bipartisan, results-driven leadership. Since taking office with Governor Charlie Baker, Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito has visited and partnered with leadership in all 351 of the Commonwealth cities and towns, signing community compact agreements with every municipality on more than 800 smarter ways to deliver services. Additionally, under her leadership, the Seaport Economic Council has directed more focus and support to helping coastal communities address their unique challenges and economic opportunities. Lieutenant Governor Polito has worked closely with local officials to encourage housing production through the Housing Choice Initiative, improve roadways, sidewalks, bicycle lanes, pathways, and intersections through the Complete Streets program, and invest in on-the-ground, proactive projects to address climate change impacts through the Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Program. As co-chair of the STEM Advisory Council, Lieutenant Governor Polito has encouraged further opportunities in STEM education to inspire more students to get involved in these important fields and better connect them to good careers. As chair of the Governor's Council to address sexual assault and domestic violence, Lieutenant Governor Polito and a diverse team of professionals have brought innovative approaches to combating domestic violence. Lieutenant Governor Polito is a lifelong resident of Shrewsbury, where she owns and operates a commercial real estate development firm and lives with her husband, Stephen Rodolakis, and their 2 children. Lieutenant Governor.
Good morning. Thank you so much for that very kind and very thorough introduction. Sorry about that. I am so honored to be here. As Patrick said, I have visited all of our communities, I've been to all the town halls and city halls, but there's no place like home. I am so proud to be here with every one of you. I see many have come out for this momentous occasion, and it is truly, truly an accomplishment for this community. And I just want to start by saying thank you to Patrick. You have a terrific building committee. You cannot go wrong. That's for sure. You've got a great construction team. I see Amarillo was very proud as a local company to be displaying their colors this morning. And I also want to thank the people of this community, the taxpayers of Shrewsbury, who once again have stepped up to support a very important project, a very important mission for this community. I also want to thank the leadership. We've got a great Board of Selectmen. I was honored to start my public service where you sit now. Thank you, Chair Samia. Pleasure to see Commissioner LeBeau here. We took one of our own to help us in state government, and it's always great to see you too, John. I want to thank Kevin Anderson, our chief, the 6th police chief in the history of our community. Doesn't seem like a very big number, which is telling of how Shrewsbury conducts its business. That there's longevity in service in leaders at town hall, in department heads, in boards and commissions where there are volunteers and appointed individuals, people who care very, very deeply about this community. I want to thank Kevin Mizkar and Kristen Lass for your leadership, doing the day-to-day grind of serving this community. It comes with some beautiful moments like this, but some very challenging and hard moments as well. And I specifically want to thank you for your hard work and your attention to all the details over the course of this past year. It has been a challenge for all of us to live through a pandemic and beat down COVID-19. I want to thank you very much for your support there. I want to thank my partners in government. Your representative in Hannah Kane is tireless in her efforts, loves what she does, and does a great job, not only for this community, but for this region and for our Commonwealth. It's a pleasure to work with you and to call you friend. So as we come to this moment, this is more than a building. Although the building is going to be wonderful, state-of-the-art, include all of the latest in technology and all of the physical places that people need to receive their services from the Shrewsbury Police Department, and especially the places where the officers can get their training and be up to date with the best practices and develop the skills needed to serve the needs of this community. But Shrewsbury has had a very long tradition of supporting public safety. I'm just going to take you down a brief walk of memory lane because I thought it was fascinating. Because we all know that the first job of government is to keep people safe, and you need a team of people to be able to do that. So dating back to 1858, you had what were called constable services. There wasn't a police department until 1901, and then an annual report, as town meeting knows, to assess what happens during the course of that year. You had your first chief in 1919. You had a notable chief among the six in 1961, Ken Burns, who was rightfully named a bridge in his honor for not only his 42 years of service to this community, but for also bringing things like the Olympic rowing events and the Eastern sprints to the shores of Lake Quinsigamond. When you think about the service that a police officer does that we may take for granted but shouldn't, you also have to think about the sacrifice that comes with their service. And there's a family that is known to us in Shrewsbury that paid the ultimate sacrifice in the Lonchitis family, whose life was taken in the line of duty, Officer James Lonchitis, tragically that day in 1975. And the only blessing I can see from that is that his son, Officer James Lonchitis, who's here with us today, continues to serve not only this community, but also serves our country as an active member of the National Guard. We want to thank you and your family, Jim Lonchitis. Not lost on us, in 1977, the first woman police officer, and Judy Safer, highest exam taker on the civil service. That's pretty notable. I don't know if Officer Pat Babin is here, but I remember back in my early days, 1988, the DARE program was introduced to this community and many others, which was very impactful in making sure that our youth had positive experiences in this community. 2020, the naming of the sixth police chief in Kevin Anderson, and now in 2021, to have this groundbreaking with a population over 35,000 people is the right decision for this community of Shrewsbury. I want to thank you for making this happen. It is a long process. It should be a long process to get it right. And it does cost people of this community a bit of their money to make sure that you get what you deserve and what you need, not only for the needs of today, but for many, many years to come. I also want to note that we are on the eve of Labor Day weekend. It is a weekend where you can pause, take stock of where you live, what you love about where you live, what your community offers, and in a place like Shrewsbury, which is a highly sought after place to want to live and raise a family or to work. It's that way because we have people who care about the quality of life, care about your safety and well-being, and it does start in a place like this, where men and women will wear the uniform, come to work every day, answer the call wherever it takes them to make sure that you and your families are safe and well in this community. That is a tremendous gift, not only for the people of this community today, but a tremendous gift for your future and for our Commonwealth. And on behalf of our administration, on behalf of Governor Baker and our entire team, I say thank you. And as your native daughter, I want to tell you how proud I am of all of you. Be safe, be well, and congratulations on this very special day.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, especially for that history lesson. I think it's so important that we remember our history, and thank you for those comments. It is now my pleasure to introduce State Representative Hannah Kane, who serves as State Representative for the 11th Worcester District, representing the towns of Shrewsbury and Westboro, precincts 4 and 5. Representative Kane was sworn in for her 4th term in January 2021. Hannah serves as the ranking minority member of both the Joint Committee on Healthcare Financing and the Joint Committee on Public Health. She is also a member of the new Joint Committee on Racial Equity, Civil Rights, and Inclusion. Hannah has served as an elected town meeting member for 18 years and is an appointed member of the Shrewsbury Finance Committee. She is president of the Shrewsbury Public Schools Foundation, a member of the Shrewsbury Coalition for Addiction Prevention and Education, and president of the Hannah Kane Charitable Foundation. Hannah and her husband Jim have lived in Shrewsbury for 23 years and have 3 children, Madison, Caitlin, and Patrick. Representative Kane.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see everyone here. I personally am rethinking my wardrobe choice for this morning, and probably pants would have been a better idea given the wind flowing at this moment. But I'm so happy to be here with all of you on a beautiful sunny morning. And as Patrick said, he and I have both been Finance Committee members, and I'm so happy, Patrick, to see you leading this building committee and to see my other fellow Finance Committee member, Donna O'Connor, as part of this. Finance Committee spent many years discussing the critical need for this project, and so to be here today as both certainly the state representative, but more importantly as a town meeting member and Finance Committee member who understood the need for this project and wanted to help do something about it. It was a year ago last summer when Beth Casavant, who was chair of the Board of Selectmen, and I were floating around socially distanced in my pool discussing how were we going to build the support for this much needed project that was going to come before the voters in the fall. And you know, all of us who are intimately aware of town government understood why this project was so critically needed, but we live in a town of 38,000 people, and communicating why it's important for this new building and for the public safety communication system was something that we wanted to make sure in the short window that we had that we did it the right way. And so we went about building out a team to do that. And when you stand here today, as Patrick and as Lieutenant Governor rightly said, there are so many people to thank, especially in town government, but there are also many people to thank who stepped forward to make sure that this project was happen via the voters coming to the ballot booth. And I want to thank some of those people this morning. Michael Hale, who had recently retired as the Selco General Manager, stepped forward when we asked to chair the Community Supporters for Public Safety Ballot Committee, because he knew as the former head of Selco how critical not only the police station was having a new building, but also the communication system was, not just to police and fire, but also to DPW and to Selco. He agreed to step forward and chair that, and we built out an advisory committee which had membership from people across all walks of the community, and I see several of them here today and certainly want to thank them as well. As we moved forward, it was critical to fund getting the ballot committee up and running, and the first folks that we talked to were the police and fire unions, and I was overwhelmed, as was Beth Casavant, with the response to both. We passed this at the ballot box because of the strong support of both unions, both financially and in being willing to be out there and talk about what the need was for this building, for the safety system. I see Mike McGinnis over there, recently retired and very tan, who was critical, along with Larry Napolitano, to helping build support and make sure the financial commitment, $10,000 was there from the police union to help support this initiative. as well as Aaron Roy, who helped with the firefighters union. I see Deputy Chief Seth Colby here, and I apologize if I'm missing anyone else, but the leadership of both unions stepped forward to make sure that the financial resources were there. And that is something that cannot be talked about in these, because again, as I said, we know why this building was needed, but we needed to make sure that every single person that stepped forward to vote in that election understood how critical this project was. So thank you to all of you who helped make that happen. It's critically important. And when we went out to talk to the voters, I've never been as pleased as I was to see the extremely strong response that we had all across our community. Despite being a pandemic, despite being a lot of discussion going on in our country that was not favorable, everyone in our community that we talked to understood that we needed to have a building that served the 21st century policing model that Chief Anderson so well speaks about anytime you have the opportunity to hear him speak. And in fact, a lot of the discussion that you had, Chief, with the community directly via being on Shrewsbury Media Connection, which thank you to Mark Serra and others for making sure that we always have the opportunity to speak directly to voters, but also other members of the police and fire community who came forward to talk about their experiences of working in a building that just didn't work and how that didn't serve our community, and also sharing with us how scary it was to rely on a communication system that didn't always work. It was through those voices of people who work in this building and rely on this system day in and day out that illustrated so well to the voters why this building and this communication system was so well deserved and needed in our community. So I stand here, just like the Lieutenant Governor, so proud to represent this community. It is really, I can say with all sincerity, the most amazing and wonderful community in the Commonwealth. I'm sure there's no one from Westboro here to hear that at this moment in time. But I take great pride in representing our community, and I take great pride in being a town meeting member and still a finance committee member, because I love to be part of all of the discussions and decisions we have as a community about how to lead ourselves forward. And we're so blessed, and I know that Patrick and both Lieutenant Governor have noted, but I also want to speak to it as well. The leadership that we have, both elected, appointed, in our community, serve us so very well. I love the opportunity to work with the selectmen quite often, and I also have the highest regard for our town manager and assistant town manager, who represent not only our town so well and all the issues that we care about, but who also take on leadership roles in the region and in the state to speak to issues that are important to us. So I am grateful for the opportunity to join you all here today. I want to thank all of those folks who worked behind the scenes to make sure that when this came before the voters, that voters were prepared and understood the opportunity to advance our police department here and our communication system in the town. And I cannot wait to be back at the groundbreaking, where I promise I will wear a more appropriate outfit for the day. Thank you all.
Thank you, Representative Kane. I could have spent an hour thanking everybody, so I'm glad other people are picking up the slack and helping me out with that. Next, I would like to introduce John Samia. John is Vice President, General Counsel, and Corporate Secretary at American Superconductor Corporation. John is also a lifelong Shrewsbury resident and has been deeply involved in serving the Shrewsbury community for many years. Currently, John is the chair of the Board of Selectmen, a town meeting member, and a former member of the school committee. And John, we'd love to hear a few comments from you. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you, Patrick. It's nice to have beautiful weather today. It's been either extreme heat or rain, so it's nice to get a break from that. It is an honor and a privilege to be here this morning. Lieutenant Governor Polito, Representative Kane, Mr. Pitney, Mr. Mizikar, Ms. Loss, Chief Anderson, residents and guests. The original police station was built in 1971 and was a 9,000 square foot building, as we know. At that time, there were a little over 19,000 residents in the town. By 1996, the town had almost 27,000 residents, and to meet increasing demands, the police station was expanded to the footprint that we see today. The police station has served Shrewsbury well the past 50 years. However, the 2016 master plan noted that the town's need to address aging municipal buildings through renovation and new construction, and it specifically cited the police station, noting that the population of the town had increased and changed the needs of the department and required additional square footage and a more functional layout. Today, Shrewsbury's population includes over 38,000 residents, and the needs recognized in the 2016 master plan have increased exponentially. While the needs of the police department and the police station have long been recognized and discussed well before the 2016 master plan, other capital projects such as the Sherwood Middle School, the public library, and the new Beale Elementary School took priority due to the town's ability to utilize time-sensitive state funding. Today has been long awaited and marks a truly exciting day for the town of Shrewsbury, the Shrewsbury Police Department, and all residents. The Shrewsbury Police Department's mission statement includes consistently delivering quality police service to the community that we serve, the commitment to strive for excellence by delivering our services with the highest degree of professionalism and integrity, in promoting a higher quality of life for all citizens that we serve. This facility will better enable the Shrewsbury Police Department to achieve its mission. The building will have a modern dispatch center and radio system. It will support the police department's vision to be fully engaged with our community and improve all residents' quality of life. It will allow for enhanced training and preparation for our officers and enable them to meet the challenges and rigor of 21st century policing. This facility is an investment in Shrewsbury, where we proudly support all members of our police department who put their lives on the line on a daily basis to keep us safe. We are truly excited to break ground today and look forward to opening this new facility. I want to thank all of those who made this possible, the Police Station Building Committee, Chair Pitney and his team, Chief Anderson, and our police officers, and all members of our police department, Mr. Mizikar, Ms. Loss, the Finance Committee, Town Meeting, the community supporters for public safety, and the countless active residents who backed this initiative, and finally and most importantly, the Shrewsbury voters. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Next, we'll hear from our town manager. It is my pleasure to introduce Town Manager Kevin Mizikar. Kevin has served as town manager since July of 2017. Prior to that, he was a budget analyst for the U.S. Department of Energy and economic development coordinator for the township of Mount Holly in New Jersey. He was an assistant town administrator in Grafton from 2011 until 2013 before becoming town administrator in Leicester. Kevin lives in Sturbridge with his wife Erin and their 2 daughters. Kevin.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to see everyone. Always impressed with this community's turnout, not only at the polls and supporting special projects like this, but just these community events where we get to see everyone. So thanks for coming. It's certainly a great morning to celebrate another momentous investment in the town of Shrewsbury. Thank you to the town residents who continue to support these community investments because they see the benefit in having a great local government. They put a lot of trust in us. That's not something that we take for granted and we strive to achieve every day. We have a wonderful building committee leading this project. They spend many hours day in, day out thinking about the project and joining together in regular meetings to continue to move this forward. It's not a small task. It's not a light investment. We thank them for their service. For me, I really have to thank my great staff that care and manage the community, providing a great place for everyone to live and thrive. We cannot say it's enough that it's a privilege to serve this community. Thank you to the dedicated professionals on this project, Tecton Architects, CMS as our owner's project manager, Fontaine Brothers. We're really looking forward to that continued relationship What a fantastic company to continue our projects and keep improving the image of this community through our capital investments. For my core team in my office, please don't tell the Board of Selectmen that we refer to ourselves as Team TM, but I couldn't be more proud of you. We love serving this community, and we're so lucky to serve with the Board of Selectmen and are grateful for their collaboration and leadership. Assistant Town Manager Kristen Lass, my appointment to serve on the building committee. Little did she know when I bestowed that upon her that she would have to have the de facto responsibility of really everything related to the town manager in this project. So she doesn't get to enjoy the opportunity to just be a building committee member. She takes on the full brunt of every decision that's made on this project. She certainly has the skill set to lead us through it. I'm grateful for her service. Also, a special shout out to Alex Martinez in our office for keeping this project on course and helping us through it all. And finally, with regards to the project, we all know leading with grace, dignity, and professionalism in the background, just like on the Beal project, is Keith Baldinger. Keith, I can't thank you enough for your leadership and how you take care of this community and manage our capital investments. It's truly a pleasure to work with you. Representative Kane, I'd like to thank you so much for your continued support of this initiatives. Many probably don't know, but without Representative Kane, the feasibility of this project may have never got off the ground. She was critical in securing funding for this project in its infancy, and we probably would not be here today without her commitment to finding ways to make things work for this community. To the Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much. Anyone else think she's been kicking butt during this pandemic? I mean, just the service to this Commonwealth is amazing. I want to thank you for the guidance that you give to me. I don't know where you find the time to do everything that you do, and it's very special for me to be able to have those conversations that we do, so thank you so much. I really see this project as being one of patience. The Shrewsbury Police Department professionally and patiently waited in line, project after project in this community move forward as they waited. That professionalism and patience are part of the core values of the heart of this police department, not only in this project, but how they serve this community. I just want to say I'm so proud of the Shrewsbury Police Department and our officers. I thank you for your service to this community, what you do day in and day out, no matter how big or how small. Whether it's just a conversation with a member of the community or serving them in one of their toughest hours, you're always valiant and make us proud. So thank you. Not only will this project serve the community, but in many ways it will enable us to continue that professionalism and patience through 21st century policing. It will enhance our ability to train our officers, provide further opportunity to serve the community through a number of means. I would like to say special thanks to former Chief Jay Hester for his continued dedication and leadership in the run-up to this project. But today I'm incredibly proud of the person who leads this department. Chief Anderson, if you haven't heard, nearly every speaker this morning mentioned 21st century policing. Maybe I shouldn't admit this in front of this crowd, but I was not aware of the critical aspect of that thought process for policing until our interview when you were ultimately selected as Chief of Police. I'm so proud that you're the chief and leading us into the 21st century. You're the right person to lead this community. It's my pleasure to work with you side by side. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. And last, but certainly not least, is our Chief of Police, Kevin Anderson. Chief Anderson began as a patrolman in 1994 and worked his way up the ranks. Chief Anderson is also a Shrewsbury native who was promoted to detective in 1997, sergeant in 2004, detective sergeant in 2009, lieutenant in 2012, and detective lieutenant in 2019. That is very well done, Chief. A 1986 Shrewsbury High graduate, Chief Anderson attended Western New England College at night while working as a detective to earn a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice Administration in 1998. I give you Chief Anderson.
Thank you, Patrick. Good morning, everyone. I'm Chief Kevin Anderson of the Shrewsbury Police Department, and I'm honored to be here today. On behalf of the department, I would like to thank the Shrewsbury community for supporting this police station project. You know, it's almost 200 years ago in 1830, Sir Robert Peel said, "The police are the public and the public are the police." That remains true today. This police station building project was truly a community effort and made possible by everyone here today. Last year during 2020, members of the department spent a significant amount of time meeting with Tectonic architects and town leadership to discuss the needs for a new police station. The town leadership and community were very supportive, and the new station was approved in November of last year. On behalf of the department, we thank you. Policing has changed since the original building was built in 1971. Police stations then were focused on lockup areas and holding cells, with the primary focus being an arrest model. Today, public safety has changed significantly and more community service focused. Making arrests is actually a small percentage of what we do on a daily basis. Today, how good of a police officer you are is defined by how well you serve the community. The community is the foundation of this new building. Once completed, the facility will include spaces for the public to use and allow for better interaction with the public and enhance the department's community policing philosophy and the department's vision. And that's to be engaged with the community to co-police public safety that reduces crime and improves quality of life. The new facility will have a modern dispatch center and radio system that meets the current standards for emergency communication centers. It will also have a designated modern training and education area to better train, equip, and prepare our officers to respond as a 21st century policing department. Additionally, the new police station will have 2 memorials. A memorial for those that lost their lives during 9/11, which will include a piece of steel from the World Trade Center. There will also be a memorial for the tragic murder of Officer James Lonchitis, who died in the line of duty March 5th, 1975. These memorials will show our appreciation for and to serve honor for those that provide public service, public dedication, and public sacrifice. On behalf of past, current, and future members of the department, we are very appreciative of the support the Shrewsbury community shows us on a daily basis, and we thank you.
Thank you, Chief, for those, what I consider very moving remarks. In closing, I would like to thank everyone who came out this morning in support of this critical infrastructure project. The building committee is looking forward to continued partnership with all of the people and departments involved in this building. We are committed to bringing you a beautiful, functional, modern police station that will stand the test of time. Hopefully, it will be completed on schedule and within budget. And that is our commitment to you, that those two things happen. So thank you very much. We're at the end of our program. We're going to do our digging ceremony.
There we go.